right now on News Channel 8 at 5.
A homeowner comes face to face with an intruder, and tonight that homeowner is suffering from a gunshot wound.
Then a Tampa couple escapes raging wildfires out in Tennessee. Their story of survival.
And News Channel 8 has an idea for your Friday night. Why you should head over to Curtis Sixon Park in just a few hours. Good evening, everyone. I'm Rod Carter.
I'm Jennifer Lee. Thank you so much for joining us.
We're going to begin tonight with breaking news. A homeowner confronts an intruder breaking into his home, and shots are fired just moments later. News Channel 8's Jamel Lene is joining us now live from that neighborhood in Seminole, where detectives are still on the scene. Jamel.
Good evening, Rod. They are, and I can tell you right now, they're going door to door, talking to residents, asking them if anyone has seen or maybe heard anything. I can tell you that the shooting happened right here at this home on Williams Boulevard in Seminole. Now, Pinellas County Sheriff's deputies tell us that the intruder forced his way through the back door just before 12:30. Detectives say the homeowner was startled and got his weapon. Now, the suspect and the homeowner got into an altercation, and the gun went off. Ott shot himself in the forearm during the altercation.
At that time, the homeowner, 66-year-old Carl Edward Ott, was in his bed asleep when he heard the noise. And at that time, he got up, grabbed his handgun to confront the suspect.
Now, that suspect got away. Detectives say it's unclear if he got away on foot or by a vehicle. Now, unfortunately, there's not too much of a description that investigators can give us right now, but they are actively searching for him. And neighbors tell us that this isn't the first time that this victim's home has been broken into. So, again, detectives are telling residents right now to stay vigilant. And if you see something, go ahead and call them. Rod?
All right, Jamel Lene reporting live for us tonight. Jamel, thanks.
More victims have been found dead from the wildfires that are ravaging eastern Tennessee. The death toll now stands at 13. One of the victims appears to have suffered a heart attack while trying to escape those flames. Take a look at this picture of 5 firefighters trying to regain their strength in the midst of rescue operations. Gatlinburg's mayor says nearly 1,000 homes and businesses are damaged. Tennessee's governor says U.S. officials are now stepping in to help.
I've had phone calls from President Obama, President-elect Trump, Vice President-elect Pence a couple of times, all saying we will do everything we can.
Homeowners are slowly returning to Gatlinburg for the first time since the wildfires began devastating that area earlier this week. A Tampa couple was among those who narrowly escaped the deadly wildfires, and for the first time, we're hearing their story of survival. Greg and Karen Pelk, moved to Tennessee to start over, but the raging fires burned their dream home to the ground. Meredith Sensulo has their story.
The Pelks moved from Tampa to Gatlinburg a year ago, leaving behind friends and family here in the Bay Area to start a new chapter in their lives. But on Monday night, the wildfires drove them from their Gatlinburg home with just minutes to react. With flames shooting 30 feet into the air and the sound of snapping trees all around them, the Pelks grabbed 2 treasures they couldn't leave behind. Greg and Karen stuffed their beloved Chihuahuas down their jackets and ran for their lives down Ski Mountain. They made it to downtown Gatlinburg, stomping embers as they went.
For a while, we didn't think we were going to make it. We were starting to choke real bad. And God sent an angel named Heather, and she picked us up and gave us a ride here. And thank you, Heather, very much. If you see this.
I got it. The Pelks ran without important medications. Karen is a diabetic, and Greg's job at the Ober-Gatlinburg Resort is now gone with the fire. Karen's daughter, who lives in Thonotosassa, has established a GoFundMe account to help the Pelks, and we have posted that link to our website, WFLA.com. Back to you.
A big announcement in the fight against the Zika virus here in Florida. Governor Rick Scott today says that the northern part of Miami Beach is now free of Zika. Florida Department of Health reports it's been some 45 days since there have been any cases of Zika there. However, the southern area of Miami Beach is still affected by the virus.
The southern part of Miami Beach that's still impacted is 1.5 square miles. We're going to continue to do everything we can to be able to lift that area, hopefully soon.
Governor Scott is urging residents there to continue to be cautious by getting rid of any standing water, wearing bug spray, and wearing protective clothing. Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi met with President-elect Donald Trump today. Reporters caught up with her in the Trump Tower lobby. She says the president-elect is leading what she calls a great situation in planning the administration. However, Bondi did not answer any questions about what her role may be. The Attorney General was an ally for Trump during his campaign.
Now, 8 on Your Side special coverage. Cuba mourns Castro. In 2 days, a funeral will be held for Cuban leader Fidel Castro. It's day 3 of the journey to bring Castro's ashes to the city of Santiago. Thousands line the streets to wave Cuban flags for the former president. Santiago is where Castro's small rebel militia trained for its first attempt to overthrow the government. One tourist came all the way from Israel for this historic time.
It's not ancient history, it's these days history. It's very, very important.
Castro's first attempt at revolting failed on July 26, 1953. Today, the date is a symbol of the revolution seen often on signs and flags. This week, people are wearing it on their sleeves as they prepare to give Castro one final salute. We have a News Channel 8 crew on the island right now covering the death of Fidel Castro. 8 on Your Side is the only Bay Area news station there to cover this historic event for you. So let's go now to Jeff Patterson in Havana.
If you want to see life in Cuba, I strongly suggest getting off the main streets. It's not always pretty, it's not perfect, it needs a lot of work. This is my 3rd trip to Havana, and I'm always struck by the architecture and by the people, just by regular life here. And right now, regular life is strongly impacted by the death of Fidel Castro. Every single television channel in this country right now is tuned to programming honoring the memory of Fidel Castro. They're showing scenes from his childhood, scenes from the revolution, scenes from his political speeches. They're talking about the revolution. They're talking about his politics. They're talking about the impact that he had on this country. There's no entertainment programming right now. Normally, the people here would be watching soap operas or just regular entertainment programming. That's not going on right now, as this country is officially in 9 days of mourning. And right now, the funeral procession is winding its way from Havana to Santiago to Cuba, and all of the programs, all of the television channels are covering that funeral procession and Fidel Castro's life. We've made a new friend, and that's what you do here in Havana. In Havana, Cuba, Jeff Patterson, News Channel 8.
Jeff will be reporting from Cuba all weekend. You can watch his reports each night on News Channel 8.
A somber anniversary in California to tell you about. Today marks a year since the San Bernardino attack. Last year, a married couple opened fire at a holiday party. 14 people lost their lives, 21 others injured during that shooting. Syed Farouk and Tafshin Malik were killed in a shootout with police. The anniversary is going to be marked with events like a memorial bike ride and a community gathering.
We are learning some new details in the investigation of the California mom who went missing for weeks. Authorities still don't know why Sherry Papini was abducted by 2 Hispanic women. Papini was beaten and chained for 22 days. Her hair was chopped off and her skin was branded. However, some experts believe this case has signs of human trafficking.
I suspect, based on the types of injuries that Sherry incurred, the beatings, the broken nose, the cut hair, especially the chains and the branding, indicate that it was most likely one of these sex trafficking groups.
The area near where Papini was abducted is known as the Emerald Triangle, and it's a hotbed for drug cartels and sex rings. Officials are still searching for Papini's kidnappers.
All right, now to a story that is definitely going to tug at your heart. The young son of a fallen Missouri police officer received a very special gift. The child of St. Louis officer Blake Snyder got these 2 stuffed teddy bears. They were made from the police uniform of his father. Those bears were from a family friend. The picture of the 2-year-old is now going viral. Officer Snyder was killed in the line of duty back in October.
A California woman with cancer had a pretty humiliating experience when she tried to rent a car from Alamo. Leah Cook wears a wig to hide her hair loss due to treatment for breast cancer. When she tried to rent a car at the Sacramento Airport Alamo counter, she handed the agent her ID, and that's when the agent refused to rent her a car. The reason why she was denied? Pretty shocking.
He held up my ID and said, "Who is this? Who is this?" And I said, "That's me." It was like, "No, that's not you." And I was like, "Yes, it's me. I have cancer." And then he was like, "No, that's not you." And I took off my hat and I was like, "See, I have cancer."
Cook reported the incident to Alamo. They say it is currently under investigation.
Last week, 8 on Your Side told you about a Winter Haven family scammed out of hundreds of dollars. They had fallen victim to a rent-to-own scam. Well, a Good Samaritan saw our story and wanted to help. Melissa Marino joining us now live. And Melissa, what a great surprise ending to this rental ripoff story.
It is. Good evening. That person reached out to me by email wanting to help. Well, this week I got this letter in the mail inside a check for this family.
It would have been really good.
Last week, Cassidy Hernandez shared her story of heartache. She thought she had signed the lease to her brand new home, only to find out it was a scam. Her and her boyfriend lost all of their money.
It made me cry. I cried hours and hours. I felt stupid.
I reached out to the couple again. They agreed to meet me at the Winter Haven Police Department. They didn't know why, just that I had an update, and boy, was it a good one.
I was trying to think that.
After a quick interview, I had them pose for a shot, you know, for the story. And then I broke the news.
So after the story aired, somebody reached out to us. They want to stay anonymous, but they wanted me to give you this check for all the money. $550 for what you guys lost.
That's amazing. That's really awesome.
To whoever it is.
To whoever. He sounds like he's gonna cry.
I'm gonna cry.
As reality set in,
I'm gonna cry.
A lot of tears.
I'm speechless.
That's over a week's worth of work.
That's at least almost 2 weeks. As you can see, I'm speechless. That's awesome. Thank you.
And a lot of gratitude. This will save Christmas for their daughter. And in an instant, their faith in humanity.
I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you so much. You've made a small little family very, very happy.
Well, definitely a very emotional experience for all of us involved. They are very grateful for this Good Samaritan, and they tell me they're going to use this money to fix their car, and as you heard, for Christmas. Rod?
What a great story. We love stories like this. Any idea, though, any update on this investigation? They found the person who did this?
Not yet. Winter Haven police are investigating. They are still working on this, and they are looking for this scammer. They'd like to talk to them.
Yeah, need to track down that person, but what a great ending to that story. Thank you so much, Melissa.
Absolutely.
Well, if you're looking to visit Niagara Falls in the new year, it's going to look a little different. A ceremony unveiled a $4 million LED lighting system. The system projects colorful lights from Ontario across the river and onto both of the falls. The lights are also environmentally friendly. They are brighter than the old ones, but use about half of the power. It's pretty neat. Santa Claus and his elves took a break from toy making to ride some waves in New Jersey. Obviously. Santa rode on jet skis at the Adventure Aquarium in Camden. The Delaware River has temperatures in the 40s right now, but for, you know, the folks from the North Pole, no big deal.
No big deal at all. Right now, Tampa Bay is also getting ready for the man in the red suit to stop by as the holidays approach very quickly. Just a matter of hours. In fact, there's going to be a great tree lighting ceremony that takes place in Curtis Hickson Park downtown.
Yes, that's where we find News Channel 8's Josh Benson. Okay, how's it going over there? Feeling festive?
Ho, 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 yes, we are, Jen. Absolutely. You know, if you're having a hard time getting into the spirit this year, you have no excuses, because check this out. A 30-foot Christmas tree that will be lit tonight. It's the official Tampa tree lighting ceremony, and Tampa's first family, the Buckhorns, will be on hand at 7:50 tonight to light this tree. But the action kicks off at 6 o'clock. This is a free event, so come on down. And it's not just that. Take a look around. After the tree lighting ceremony, we're going to have a free movie, A Christmas Story, that will air right here on the big screen. You can bring your chairs. You can bring your pets. Make sure your dogs are on their leashes. But also, there is a big band here as well. 10-piece horn band, the Late Night Brass. They're going to be playing here. They're starting up momentarily. And there's plenty of food, so don't have dinner tonight. Come out here and have dinner out here at the park. I mean, the weather out here is perfect for the Bay Area. You couldn't ask for a better night for this. But tonight is the big tree lighting ceremony, 7:50, again, a free event. So come on down. We're going to be here for the next few newscasts, and we'll have all the latest. And we'll talk to some people as well. Jen and Rod will send it back to you.
Looking forward to it. What a great assignment. All right.
I know, right?
Thank you, Josh.
Now, Max Defender 8, the world's most powerful radar, and your Storm Team 8 forecast with Chief Meteorologist Steve Jervey.
cool air that will sink all the way down south here. As you can see in the 8-day forecast, if you're looking for cooler numbers, they are there. Look at that 41 degrees there as we get into Saturday. And that'll cross much of the country, that colder air. And of course, we're just at the southern end of it. Rain chances a little bit better for Tuesday. That's somewhat encouraging for those that really want some rain. I think most folks do.
Yeah.
But it will get chilly eventually.
Yeah, we could use a little bit of rain. I saw it the other day. I was like, what is that? What's happening here?
What's that?
Well, I could wash your car like I did.
That's right. You took some pictures.
Took pictures. I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah, I washed my car and I got rain, so if you guys need me to wash yours to make it rain.
I'm down with that plan.
We may need it soon.
Exactly, even if it's not going to rain. All right, thanks.
Well, bath time can be a bit of a headache for infants and toddlers, so bath seats can come in handy to make it more fun.
Yeah, but one particular brand could actually be very dangerous. Coming up, an important recall notice about a very real drowning hazard that you can avoid. Stay with us.
Now to some breaking news. Eagle 8 HD is over a fire at a scrap metal yard near the port in Hillsborough County. Paul Lamison is live above the scene. Paul, what can you tell us at this point?
Good evening, Jen. What I can show you is the most impressive part. Let me zoom in. This is a scrap metal yard, and somehow it caught fire. And originally they were going to let it burn, but now they have fire trucks from Hillsborough County putting water on it. And if I zoom in close, you can see these are pieces of metal and all kinds of debris, and it's on fire and it is burning hot. In the past couple minutes, we've seen a couple things explode within it, sending up more black smoke. And I'm going to pull out wide for you. This is something that you're going to see all throughout South Tampa, this black smoke. It's just billowing into the blue sky, the evening sky, all across the bay. So it's a mess. The other mess I want to show you is US 41 South. They have the part of the road closed off down near Madison. So the road is closed. It's moving in the northbound, but southbound they still have the road closed while they try to put water on this fire. I don't know if they're going to be able to get this fire out, but they are trying to control it and contain it. So right now we'll stay over it and watch it and alert you to anything new that arises. Back to you, Jen.
Wow, Paul, incredible images there. Thank you so much. We'll check in with you again as the story develops.
All right, now we have an 8 on your side consumer alert to tell you about tonight. Thousands of Lexibook baby bath seats are now being recalled due to a drowning hazard. That recall covers bath seats and chairs for children 6 months old or older. The seat can actually tip over into the water while the child is inside because of a stability issue. If you own one of these, you need to contact the retailer you bought it from and then take it back to them. Mad Dog is going to the White House.
Yes, tonight, Marine Corps General James Mad Dog Mattis is going from MacDill Air Force Base to Washington, D.C. Plus,
I said, we gonna get out of here. I ain't think the rest of them were gonna get out, but I knew we was gonna get out.
In our next half hour, we'll hear from a bank hostage who escaped from his captor.
Right now on News Channel 8 at 5:30.
The president-elect makes his choice to head up the Defense Department. He's a tough-talking, battle-hardened military leader with strong ties to Tampa. Good evening. I'm Jennifer Lee.
I'm Rod Carter. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Retired Marine Corps General James Mad Dog Mattis is Donald Trump's pick for Secretary of Defense. News Channel 8's Ryan Hughes has more now from MacDill Air Force Base, where Mattis had a prominent leadership role.
Retired General James Mad Dog Mattis was head of Central Command here at MacDill Air Force Base from 2010 to 2013. Now he's in line to be the next United States Secretary of Defense. President-elect Donald Trump made the announcement during a so-called thank you tour that started in Ohio Thursday night.
We are going to appoint Mad Dog Mattis as our Secretary of Defense. But we're not announcing it till Monday, so don't tell anybody. Mad Dog. He's great.
Trump played and joked with the crowd at the rally, asking them not to let out the secret until the official announcement expected in just a few days.
We're going to be announcing him on Monday of next week. Keep it inside the room, but that's what we have, and he's our best. They say he's the closest thing to General George Patton that we have, and it's about time. It's about time.
Mattis lived in Tampa for several years while he headed Central Command. The retired Marine Corps general has more than 40 years of military service, including holding key commands in both Afghanistan and Iraq. When Mattis left his post in 2013, then Secretary of Defense Chuck Hagel had huge praise for him at a ceremony at MacDill.
Jim Mattis has been front and center in every major combat operation this nation has conducted for more than 2 decades.
Mattis may have difficulty getting confirmed. Democratic New York Senator Kirsten Gillibrand explained she plans to vote against him. The Senate would need to make an exception when confirming him because he served in the military within the last 7 years, and his appointment would violate the 1947 law. It requires a civilian to lead the Pentagon, not someone recently in uniform. I'm Ryan Hughes, News Channel 8.
Overall, James Mattis has strong support in Congress, especially from Republican Senator John McCain. Confirmation proceedings will begin after Donald Trump's inauguration.
We are still following that breaking news. Eagle 8 HD is over a fire at a scrap metal yard near the port in Hillsborough County. Paul Lamison is live above the scene. And Paul, it looks like it's still going strong there. Massive flames and that huge plume of smoke.
Good evening, Jen. Yes, you are correct. Here, let me push in and show you. Look how hot this fire is. When I push in, you can just see the flames rolling from inside this scrap metal. It caught fire earlier this afternoon. They're not really sure how it caught fire, a spark possibly. And now I'm going to pull out a little wide. And here's what they're doing. They're trying to pump water on it. They have this truck pumping water onto it. And you can see when the water hits the flame, it's really not putting the flame out. It's just causing more black smoke as metal continues to burn. The other problem is the traffic. You can see this is US 41 just by Madison Road, and it is closed off in the southbound direction. Northbound is getting through, southbound is not, so there's a big traffic nightmare. The other thing is what drivers are going to see. If I pull out wide, this black plume of smoke is now drifting over to the west, all across the bay, over to Bayshore Boulevard. You can see the sunset and the black smoke just drifting. So this is going to be a little bit of everything. It's going to show people are going to see the smoke, the traffic's going to affect it, and fire crews on scene will be here for hours trying to get this thing under control, and we'll stay above it in Eagle 8 HD. Back to you, Jen.
All right, we know you will. We'll check in with you again as the story develops. Thank you, Paul. Citrus County deputies are searching for thieves who stole orange trees right out of the ground. The crooks struck a grove in Frostproof sometime overnight, Tuesday into Wednesday. They got away with more than 400 trees that were just planted. The trees are worth more than $3,000. And a bomb scare at a St. Petersburg beach this morning. A woman called police to report her 3-year-old son found what appeared to be an old grenade on a private beach. Well, the Tampa Bomb Squad responded to take a look. Their experts were able to quickly determine it was a plastic toy and not dangerous.
Tonight, for the first time, we are hearing from one of those victims held hostage in a bank in Jacksonville. Police say 23-year-old Nicholas Humphrey held 13 people hostage inside that bank using a gun and a pit bull. A bank employee and one of those hostages, Frank Brown, hid while the suspect forced everyone else into a different area of the bank. They knew right then that they had to make a run for that.
I don't know how I did. I must have ran to the door on my knees. And next thing I know, I rolled out the door, and the police say, run. I couldn't run, but I rolled again.
All of those hostages were released safely, and no one was hurt.
Wild bears can be a pretty scary sight if they are just, walking around your neighborhood. As our Capitol Bureau reporter Matt Galka tells us, state officials want to make sure you're prepared if that happens.
Did you know that your chances of encountering a Florida black bear are greater today than at any time in the past 100 years?
Let's say you find yourself face to face with a Florida black bear. Would you know what to do?
There's a bear in our neighborhood.
David Telesco with the state's Fish and Wildlife Bear Management Program wants to help.
All of our state agencies want people to know how to exist with bears, what to avoid, how to avoid conflicts. And so we're all getting behind this idea of Bear Wise.
Ramping up education efforts and getting people bear wise is a priority for FWC. They've taken 4,630 bear-related calls just this year.
It means that I know who to call, and I know when there's an issue. I know how to interact with a bear. I know we should scare them away, and we should keep our trash and other things secure.
Earlier this year, FWC canceled the second year of a planned bear hunt. The hunt designed to manage bear population was scrapped after controversy surrounded the 2015 one.
We've got hunters bickering amongst themselves as to the best way to kill the bear.
A bear season will be considered again next year, but in the meantime, people need to know how to handle a potential bear-human conflict.
So we know it's intensifying, and we have to get that word out that you can coexist with bears as long as you know what to do.
FWC is in the process of doling out more than $800,000 of grant money to cities and counties for bear conflict solution programs. Reporting in Tallahassee, I'm Matt Gelka.
City of Lakeland is growing, and so is their need for parking. So starting next week, valet service is going to be offered downtown. The program, called Universal Valet, will operate Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights. It costs $6 per car, although several restaurants and bars will offer some form of validation. And regular parking also will still be available.
Get this, singer Ed Sheeran isn't just showing off his vocal abilities, but also a new scar on his face.
Well, they're coming after the break. We're going to show you why one royal slashed him at a party. This is interesting. Plus,
teenage depression. There was a gap between the ages of 16 and 25. But now in Tampa Bay, there's help. I'm Gil Guayardo, and I'll show you where to find it.
77 degrees today, a nice warm day overall, but obviously it feels much cooler. The humidity's down, so it's going to be a cooler evening. We'll talk about a quick warm-up, though, this weekend and look at long-term colder air coming up.
Eagle 8 HD coverage is brought to you by your Suncoast Hyundai dealers. Visit your local dealer today or shop buyhyundai.com.
Are they just being a teen, or is your child in crisis? Teenage depression and anxiety is on the rise, and many times kids don't know who to turn to. And when the pressure mounts, some even go to extreme measures. Gail Guayardo shows us the new programs in Hillsborough and Pinellas counties to help kids in crisis.
Thank you for calling the Crisis Center of Tampa Bay. This is Janine. How can I help you?
211 Tampa Bay Cares is now up and running, a resource for a group falling through the cracks of the mental health system. Teens and young adults between the ages of 16 and 25, where depression rates are spiking, especially among girls.
It was very difficult for me at the time because it was just like I was younger, so it's just like everyone would blow it off type thing. But as I got older, people start to notice it's like it's not a game anymore.
After years of struggling with depression and anxiety, Alexis Stewart told me one day she hit a breaking point. Luckily, she found 211.
There's no judgment. Everything is confidential.
The Success for Kids and Families Healthy Transition Program provides a support system.
Our program was designed to fill that void, to fill that crack in, and help those youth and young adults who are transitioning into becoming an adult.
And if your child starts having mood changes, that could be a signal they need support.
We typically say if the moodiness is going on for 2 weeks or longer, heads up. If the person is crying and really, really sad or incredibly irritable, you want to find out what's going on.
Dr. Wendy Rice says keep an eye out for changes in school performance, appetite, sleep patterns, all signs that something is wrong. Gail Guayardo, News Channel 8.
All right, back in June, we told you about a father who got a tattoo on his head to match his son's scar from brain cancer surgery. Well, now that tumor is back. 8-year-old Gabe from Kansas is fighting cancer once again. The family was told that the tumor is inoperable. Gabe's dad is trying to give his son some strength, but this little guy is holding it all together.
Just being strong and just don't try to whine through it and just be strong.
Trust the Lord. Gabe's dad calls him a superhero for showing him what life is really all about, and that's cherishing every single moment.
Well, as officials continue to investigate the plane crash that killed members of a Brazilian soccer team, new video is released of a crew member being rescued. In the video, the victim says he has pain in his spine and arms. He then starts calling out names of others on board. The crash killed 71 people and only 6 survived. The list of designers refusing to dress the new First Lady is growing. Tom Ford told the hosts of The View that Melania Trump is not necessarily his image. Other designers like Marc Jacobs have also said they won't dress Mrs. Trump. One French designer claims she will not support a Trump administration because of Donald Trump's, quote, rhetoric of racism, sexism, and xenophobia. Singer Ed Sheeran performed at a charity gala in London, but it wasn't just his songs that people were paying attention to. Sheeran got a scar after he was accidentally cut at a party You can see it there. When Princess Beatrice pretended to knight another singer with a ceremonial sword. The singer had to get stitches, but we're told he was joking about it to reporters.
You heard what Hagrid said. Follow the spiders.
Head into the dark forest. Wait, spiders? Why couldn't we follow the butterflies?
Harry Potter fans are following J.K. Rowling's next scripted work all the way to Broadway. Harry Potter and the Cursed Child is apparating to Broadway. It's reported that J.K. Rowling's theatrical play will open at New York's Lyric Theater in the spring of 2018. By the way, the London production of The Cursed Child is sold out through February of 2018, so you may want to go ahead and get your tickets soon. Now to a story that's happening right now. Christmas is in the air as Tampa Bay is counting down to the holidays. Tonight, there is going to be a tree lighting ceremony in downtown Tampa. And News Channel 8's Josh Benson is live there for us tonight at Curtis Hickson Park. Hey, buddy.
Hey, Rod, how's it going? Well, people are really starting to pour in here down at Curtis Hickson. Now, this kicks off at 6 o'clock. The tree lighting will be at 7:50. And take a look at that monster. It's a 30-foot tree. It even has some, like, smoke effects. It's very cool. The first family will be lighting that tree. The first family of Tampa will be down here at 7:50 to light the tree. But you look around here, there's a lot of people with great I like looking for the best food. And the Gearhards, they got this figured out. Hi guys. How are you guys doing? You guys got probably the best spread here so far. And now Cody, they tell me that you are the one who really gets the holidays kicked off. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
What do you do to get that going?
November 1st, I turn on Christmas music and listen to it every day.
You look like a Sinatra kind of guy.
Yes, sir. I'll Be Home for Christmas is my favorite.
Look, he even has his favorites. Well, you guys got a nice little spread here. Now, Mom, I got to talk to you. Now, you have the whole family out here. You have the picnic set up. What's it like to be in the Bay Area on such a nice day to be out here for this tree lighting?
We're from Tampa, so, we love it. And it's so great to have events like this that we can bring the family to and the kids. And
you can't beat the weather.
Yeah, exactly. Can't beat it.
Christine Gearhart, thanks so much for being out here, guys. Thanks for letting me hang out with you. Again, this is going to happen at 7:50, the tree lighting here. They're going to give away $1,000 to one lucky person. They're going to have a movie over here, A Christmas Story. That'll air after the tree lighting. So come down, bring your chairs, bring your pets, bring your blankets. It's going to be a great time. Guys, we'll send it back to you.
Man, it looks like you're having a ball out there. All right, Josh. Thanks, sir. Appreciate it.
Now, Max Defender 8, the world's most powerful radar, and your Storm Team 8 forecast with Chief Meteorologist Steve Jervey.
Just don't shoot your eye out if you get one of those BB guns for Christmas. Just a good safety thing. Well, Max Defender 8 is showing mostly clear conditions here. We haven't seen much in the way of precip. The cold front's down to our south, and certainly cooler temperatures are taking over under high pressure tonight, and we definitely feel that, but that live sweep is not picking up much in the way of any kind of shower activity at the moment. Warming conditions, yes, it's cool, but not for long, really. Now, Saturday's going to be beautiful, but by Sunday we'll start to add some moisture back in the atmosphere, which isn't unusual when we have an east to southeasterly flow. The first front will arrive Tuesday with a better chance of showers and thunderstorms. The second front will move in Thursday, and that will bring the huge drop in temperatures. So actually the rain chance is slightly better on Tuesday than it will be on Thursday, when that second front really is taking advantage of the cold air across much of the country. Here at Hyundai Newport Richie, 66 degrees under clear skies. At Connerton up in Land O'Lakes, you can see clear and calm at the moment. Beautiful up there, 66 degrees. So these temperatures are going to fall pretty quickly because the dew points are lower. And right here in Tampa along the Veterans Expressway, moving a little slower here northbound, it looks like at the moment. We have 69 degrees with that northeast wind at 6 miles per hour. Lake Club, Lakewood Ranch, 71 degrees with the northeast wind at 2 miles per hour. And finally, the Plantation Crystal River, 68 degrees with a very light north wind. Our high temperatures the next 5 days will continue to warm up as we head into the weekend, as I was talking about. Sunday, Monday, 83. Then as we get toward the end of next week, that's when we'll expect that cool down. Tony Colon snapping a nice shot at Circle B Bar Reserve out in Lakeland today. Great shot. I shared that on Facebook. At 9 p.m., 61 degrees, light jacket weather, 57 degrees at 7 a.m., and 78 degrees at 4 p.m. That low temperature, that forecast low, is pretty close to our average of 57 degrees at Tampa International. 75 degrees at that same location right now. The dew point down to 34 degrees. We were running dew points upper 60s, near 70 degrees the past couple of days. So this is a huge change in terms of the comfort of the air, the dryness of the air. Nice in St. Pete downtown, too, at Whittard Airport, 71 degrees. But it will be cool there this evening. High pressure is our dominant weather feature and will continue to be that way. The flow around that, as we get more of an easterly movement of the high pressure, will be more from the northeast, east, and then eventually southeast by Sunday, and that'll help along that warming trend. Back to the west, as you can see, showers, a few thunderstorms across sections of Texas. This is an area of low pressure that will move to the north of us, but will help to lift this front down to our south. Back north is a warm front, and that'll make it just a bit more mild here, as I mentioned, for Sunday. The forecast for the evening, quiet, calm, same overnight. A little bit chilly to start the day, especially northern areas, upper 40s in some of those regions. Fantastic fall day in the afternoon. Same for Sunday, really. Will just be a bit warmer overall. A few more clouds around, too. A bit more moisture in the atmosphere might make it feel just a tad warmer. 56 degrees, forecast low, Riverview 54, Tarpon Springs 52, Land O'Lakes upper 40s, some of the northern areas, 57 degrees in Northport. So the next couple of days here, you can see those temperatures, 78 degrees for Saturday, 82 degrees for Sunday, 83 degrees on Monday. The rain chance is running about 20%. 40% chance in the forecast for Tuesday, and then the rain chances fall off for Wednesday. The real cool air, though, arrives at the end of this time period. That would be Friday and Saturday, and especially Saturday morning, we're talking about cold conditions. Cold, that's right. It hasn't been cold very much this year. This warm and dry winter we've been forecasting really is coming true, although it's not officially winter yet, guys. It's meteorological winter for us.
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much.
A former NFL player is dead tonight after an argument on the road.
Also ahead, a parrot gets its mugshot taken. Why this man ended up posing for the police with his pet bird.
And remember, you can join Josh Benson, Jen Holloway, and Julie Phillips for News Channel 8 at 8 on Great 38 every night from 8 until 9.
Now to what's making headlines across America. A former NFL player is dead tonight, the victim of an apparent road rage shooting in a New Orleans suburb. Witnesses say former NFL running back Joe McKnight had a verbal argument with another driver. That driver pulled McKnight from his car and shot him. The shooter stayed at the scene and surrendered to police. He was questioned, but still has not been formally charged. One person has been found alive after a building collapse in South Dakota. A 22-year-old woman and her dog were pulled from the rubble. She was hospitalized, but her condition at this point is unknown. A second person remains trapped in the debris. Rescuers have been unable to locate him. The building was under construction when it collapsed.
They say a picture is worth 1,000 words. This particular picture, though, may leave you speechless. That's Craig Buckner and his pet macaw posing for a mugshot together. Neither one looks happy. Here's the story. Buckner brought his parrot to court with him, and thinking his case wouldn't take long, he left the bird outside in a tree. Well, the judge ordered him to be arrested. So a security guard, a deputy there, let him get his pet and then take the picture with him. Friend came by to pick up the parrot. Buckner, by the way, is still in jail. And the other one is not a jailbird. Coming up at 8 on News Channel 8 at 6.
Stacy is here with what we're working on.
Thanks, guys. A violent home invasion has a community on edge. Coming up, we have new information about how a homeowner ended up getting shot while trying to fight off an intruder. Plus, another manatee stranded in Lake Turpin is saved. We'll explain how rescuers found the manatee just in the nick of time.
Mosaic in the state may say there's no contaminated water in neighbors' wells, but some aren't buying what they're selling.
I'm Jeff Patterson in Havana, Cuba. As this country continues to mourn the death of Fidel Castro, the official 9 days of mourning is having a very real impact on business. That story coming up.
Those stories plus your Storm Team 8 forecast and sports with Paul Ryan. Coming up on News Channel 8, the station that's always on your side. Right now on News Channel 8 at 6.
Face to face with an intruder, a homeowner who tried to fight the suspect off ends up getting shot.
Mosaic is scaling back water testing, but what does that mean for residents? Target 8 investigates.
And exclusive coverage tonight from Cuba, how state-mandated mourning for Fidel Castro is impacting Cubans. Good evening, everyone. I'm Rod Carter.
And I'm Stacy Scheibel. Thank you for joining us.
We're going to begin tonight, though, with breaking news that we've been covering all afternoon long. A scrap metal fire in Hillsborough County has shut down a part of US 41. Paul Lamison is live above the scene in Eagle 8 HD. And Paul, this fire has been burning for well over an hour now. Doesn't even look like it's died down at all.
Good evening, Rod. You are correct. It did. It started this afternoon, and it's still burning. It's still burning as hot as ever. You can see right now they're putting water on it, but the water doesn't seem to be doing too much. We're at a scrap metal yard. This is a lot of old cars, old pieces of metal, all kinds of junk. And what happens, what we've been seeing all afternoon, is when things get too hot, some things are exploding in here. So we've seen some pops of smoke. In fact, you can see some of the smoke rolling right now. Here's the other problem is US 41. It is stopped. It's actually 50th Street in this area, just south of Causeway Boulevard. The southbound lane is closed. Northbound lane is now at a crawl, all because of the fire vehicles here. The other thing I'm going to do, I'm going to pull out wide, and here's the sunset, and there's the black smoke. You're able to see this from all over the South Tampa area, and this black smoke is just billowing. So it's causing all kinds of delays all around the Bay Area. But here's the biggest part, the fire. It continues to burn, and we'll stick with it for a while because this doesn't look like it'll be out anytime soon. Back to you, Rod.
Yeah, it looks like firefighters are in for a long night. All right, Paul Lamison reporting live for us tonight at Eagle 8 HD. Thanks, Paul.
And we have more breaking news right now. This out of Pinellas County. A Seminole homeowner is in the hospital tonight after a violent scuffle with an intruder. News Channel 8's Jamel Lene joins us now live at the scene on Williams Boulevard. And Jamel, we're learning new information. That story has changed about how the homeowner got shot, correct?
It has, Stacy. We just got an update from the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office. They are saying that after speaking with the homeowner, that the homeowner realized that the suspect shot him. So the deputies are now telling us that this homeowner was shot by the suspect. That shooting happening right here at this home on Williams Boulevard in Seminole. So let's go to some video that we shot earlier today. The Sheriff's Office deputies, they tell us that the intruder forced his way through the back door just before 12:30. Detectives say that the homeowner, Carl Ott, was startled and got his weapon. Now, the suspect and the homeowner, they got into an altercation and the gun went off. Now, investigators say when they arrived on the scene, Ott, he mistakenly told deputies that he accidentally shot himself with his own handgun while confronting the suspect at his house. Through the course of this investigation, detectives learned that Ott was actually shot by the suspect.
At that time, the homeowner, 66-year-old Carl Edward Ott, was in his bed asleep when he heard the noise. And at that time, he got up, grabbed his handgun to confront the suspect.
Now, again, he was shot in the forearm. He's at the hospital. He's expected to be okay. But the suspect, he got away. He is still on the loose at this time. It's not clear if he ran away from the scene or if he got into a vehicle. And they don't have a pretty clear description about what this guy actually looks like. So right now, they are asking residents to stay vigilant and stay on the lookout.
All right, Jamel Lene live in Seminole for us. Thank you.
He's taking on the big shot and working hard to get you answers. Steve Andrews is Target 8.
Testing for contaminated water that escaped from a Mosaic sinkhole will continue, but is it enough? Mosaic did announce that it will continue testing wells within 4 miles of its Mulberry plant at least through 2018.
But the testing is going to be dramatically reduced beginning next year. This all started after Target 8 senior investigative reporter Steve Andrews revealed a sinkhole at that site, which dumped millions of gallons of contaminated water into our aquifer. Right, Steve?
Right. You know, Mosaic insists that it's contained the contamination, that it's actually pumping the radioactive water out of the ground. Why are some neighbors unconvinced? Seeds of mistrust planted by the state. According to Mosaic, it will now only test drinking water wells within a 4-mile radius of this sinkhole. Testing began in September, shortly after our reports revealed 215 million gallons of contaminated water drained into the aquifer. Mosaic claims a private company it hired conducted tests on 1,200 private wells. The blue dots on this Mosaic-produced graphic represent households requesting tests. Green dots are test results that fell within EPA standards. Purple are wells where contaminants exceed those standards. None, according to the state, and Mosaic were impacted by the water from the sinkhole. While Mosaic and the state contend that the contaminated water is contained on site, some neighbors just don't have a lot of confidence in the testing that's going on. How comfortable are you with the test results that they provided you?
I have zero comfort.
Christy Simpson lives about 5.5 miles west of the New Wales plant. She was told tests on her well showed the water was safe to drink.
Then later on, my water started smelling different. There's a lot of black stuff coming out of the pipes. My neighbors have that problem too.
Christy wanted her well tested for arsenic and other contaminants.
And they refused.
Now she buys purified water and has filters on her showers. At the root of her distrust is that the Florida Department of Environmental Protection waited 3 weeks until after Target 8 broke the story to make public the threat of potential contamination.
So right there's zero integrity.
She calls Mosaic's plan to test only wells within that 4-mile radius for another 2 years not good enough. Mosaic contends the groundwater in the area of the sinkhole moves at about 500 feet per month. If that's the case, Christy Simpson argues the wells in the area should be tested for the next 20 or 30 years. That's how long it'll take for that stuff to get there.
Exactly. So what is the plan for the next couple of years?
Well, with wells within 4 miles of that sinkhole will be tested quarterly next year and twice in 2018. Now, Mosaic also ended delivering bottled water to wells where tests come back within EPA standards. It'll continue delivering water through this month for those wells where contaminants exceed standards.
All right, Steve, thank you very much. I know you'll be watching.
We will.
And if you have any problems that you want Steve to investigate, call our Target 8 helpline, the number 1-800-338-0808.
Those wildfires that have devastated parts of Tennessee have now claimed 13 lives. And a couple from Tampa that moved to Gatlinburg to start a new life, they barely escaped alive. Greg and Karen Pelk lost just about everything in the fire except for their lives. With flames shooting 30 feet into the air and the sound of snapping trees all around them, the Pelks grabbed their 2 dogs and ran on foot from their Gatlinburg home.
For a while, we didn't think we were going to make it. We were starting to choke real bad. And God sent an angel named Heather, and she picked us up and gave us a ride here. And thank you, Heather, very much. If you see this.
I got it. Greg's job at the Ober-Gatlinburg Resort is also now gone up in flames. The couple is staying at an emergency shelter. Karen's daughter lives in Thonotosassa, and she has started a GoFundMe page for the Pelks to help them rebuild their lives. We have a link to it on WFLA.com.
The mourning period continues tonight in Cuba.
News Channel 8 is the only Bay Area station with a reporter on the island covering the impact of Fidel Castro's death. Coming up, Jeff Patterson shows us how the somber mood is affecting tourism in Cuba.
Also, you're looking live at Curtis Dixon Park tonight, where they are getting ready to light up the city's Christmas tree. We're going to have a live report coming up in a moment.
77 degrees, but you can tell the air is much cooler and drier, so those temperatures will fall just a bit quicker this evening. We'll also look ahead to a great weekend forecast, but a warming trend and then long-term cooling trend. All that coming up.
Linda.
Back now, we want to update you on this breaking news. Look at the flames here. This is a scrap metal fire in Hillsborough County. It has shut down part of Tamiami Trail. Eagle 8 HD right now is live above this. This is near Port Tampa Bay on Port Sutton Road. The fire at Trademark Metals has been burning for well over an hour now. It's not letting up. Fire crews have been pouring water on these massive flames. No injuries reported, and right now the southbound side of Tamiami Trail is closed before it turns into US 41. We will continue to monitor this and bring you updates.
Now, 8 on Your Side special coverage from Cuba as the country mourns Fidel Castro.
Fidel Castro's ashes are on a journey that reverses the route that took across the island nation after seizing power in 1959. The procession ends in Santiago, where Castro is going to be laid to rest this Sunday. Cubans are in a state-mandated period of mourning for their former president. The normally vibrant mood in the island nation is now somber, and that's having an impact on the tourism business there. News Channelist Jeff Patterson is the only Bay Area reporter in Cuba right now. Joins us now from Havana.
As tourists continue to cruise into Havana, some of them no doubt planned their trips weeks and months ago. As they arrive in this historic city at this historic time, many of those tourists may be surprised at what they find. Every hour on the hour, they fire a symbolic cannon from the castle above Havana to mark the death of Fidel Castro. Hearing the news of his death was jarring for some.
He started talking about the loss that he had, the loss that we have, and right when it popped in my head, you know? Oh my God, Fidel just died.
I've spent time with Ricardo Hernandez in Havana before. He's helped us with transportation and translations. On this trip, he told me about the night Fidel Castro died. As soon as he heard the news, he called his wife into the room.
She was watching soap operas in the DVD or whatever. She changed it right away and listened to him. Start crying. That makes me cry too.
The day after the news broke, Cuba closed popular tourist bars like the Floridita. Alcohol sales stopped. Music went silent. How is that impacting business?
I guess it's probably really hard because they don't sell alcohol, but for a good reason, I guess.
Herman Garcia runs the Coliseum restaurant in Havana. When we were last here, you had just opened. So how is your business now?
My business now is good.
I've also spent time with Hernan Garcia before. He runs the Coliseum restaurant in Havana. His small Italian-themed restaurant is near the historic Malecón. With it, he supports his wife and growing family. The business depends on tourists.
No problem. The food is okay. The people coming for food, not for drink.
For many tourists, no music and no alcohol has translated into no business and empty seats. But Garcia tells me he's okay with that.
The business no close, you know?
After Fidel Castro is laid to rest this Sunday, life will return to normal here in Cuba, even if the future is a little uncertain for some. In Havana, Cuba, Jeff Patterson, News Channel 8.
Right now, we do have some new information about an effort to save manatees trapped in Lake Tarpon since Tropical Storm Colin. FWC crews found a fourth manatee in the lake this morning. The 2-year-old, 700-pound female was examined by wildlife officials before being released into Tampa Bay and Safety Harbor. Veterinarians gave her a clean bill of health.
Now, Max Defender 8, the world's most powerful radar, and your Storm Team 8 forecast with Chief Meteorologist Steve Jervey.
And a quiet day in terms of precipitation around the Bay Area. Max Defender 8 has not seen much in the way of showers. All that's well down to the south of us, associated with the cold front, so we're expecting a quiet night. Little bit of light left, well, not much, here at St. Pete Beach. After sunset, obviously, these short days. North winds, very, very light at the moment. Of course, the north wind ushering in the cooler, drier air. 78 Saturday, 82 degrees on Sunday. And don't forget, a week from now, we have the Kindness Day going on, just 1 week away. Toys, bears, blood, and food. One-stop place to drop off those gifts for the holiday season. So we really appreciate your help in previous years and look forward to your help this year, too. This one just came in from John and Jen Marshall. Beautiful shot with some high clouds, some mid-level clouds as well. That's not an atmosphere that looks like it's carrying a lot of precipitation or moisture at all. Light jacket weather this evening. Going to be a little cool, needless to say, but 57 for a low is pretty much what we expect this time of year. That's our average low. 67 degrees McDill, 67 as well in Largo, Palm Harbor 66. Same in Lutz, Temple Terrace 66 and 69 degrees Riverview. Temperatures near 70 in Brooksville, 71 Sebring, and also in Sarasota. The temperatures 24 hours ago were a bit warmer. We're 9 degrees cooler than we were a day ago in Plant City. A little bit cooler in Tampa and St. Petersburg and Bradenton. High pressure is the dominant feature. Area of low pressure back to the west will help lift that front to the south. Back north is a warm front, put us back in the warm sector and keep our conditions fairly mild here. As we look at the RAP model for the short term, our high res, you can see all the wind direction coming in from the northeast, and that's just a cooler flow for us, so that'll be in place throughout the evening and certainly the early part of the day for tomorrow. As we get into the afternoon hours, after a cooler morning, as we said, with lots of sunshine, we'll start to bring more of an easterly flow, and that'll make the air feel just a bit milder, but a beautiful fall day for us in the Bay Area in early December. Now getting into Sunday, more of a southeasterly flow back in that warm sector. Temps will just be warmer. So the next 3 days, the temperatures will be under 82 degrees, so a quick turnaround, warm up in the forecast for Sunday. Getting into Monday, 83 degrees. Note the rain chance is creeping back in. That's a fairly high rain chance given the time of year, though, 40% on Tuesday, which would be welcome as a cold front approaches the area. And then a second front getting in on Thursday with a small rain chance there. Behind that is some very cool air for Friday and Saturday. That's probably the chilliest air of the season.
All right, Steve, thank you very much. Appreciate it. We're going to get back to that breaking news we've been telling you about all night tonight. Firefighters still working to knock down that huge fire at a metal recycling facility at the Port of Tampa.
This is a place that has seen fires many times before. Jana Jones just arrived on the scene. Please update us, Jana.
Ron, Stacy, this fire has been burning for well over an hour, and I want to show you the thick, heavy smoke that you can still see. You can see it from miles and miles away, and I want to go ahead and give you a live look from Eagle 8 HD. This is now a 2-alarm fire right now. The good news is that no one is hurt at this time, but it is causing some major traffic issues. Right now, the southbound lane of 50th Street at Port Sutton is closed, and the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office Marine Unit is blocking boaters in the channel because of it. Now, let me just show you this traffic chaos that is going on right now. US 41 at 50th Street around Port Sutton Road. You cannot get through. They are making all traffic do a U-turn, so you'll want to pay attention to that if you're about to hit the roads tonight. Again, we do not know a cause of the fire at this time, but we'll update you right here on air and online at WFLA as soon as we get more information.
All right, Janet Jones live at that fire in the Port of Tampa Bay. Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. Sports is coming your way next.
Defense wins championships. That's what I always heard growing up, and they are playing their tails off.
The straw that stirs the drink of that Buccaneers defense returned to action today. Defensive tackle Gerald McCoy, who's battling a foot injury, practiced for the first time this week. Dirk Cutter says if he was a betting man, he'd expect to see number 93 suit up on Sunday. It's no secret that the NFL is a quarterback-driven league. Nearly every Sunday presents a marquee matchup of signal callers, and this weekend is no different. Jameis Winston squares off against Phillip Rivers with postseason implications abound. The 5-6 Chargers are fresh off a win over the Texans in which Rivers tossed 3 touchdown passes. The 34-year-old has thrown 23 this year, one more than his contemporary, Mr. Winston, who is young enough to have grown up watching his fellow Alabamian well before Jameis's days in Tampa or Tallahassee. Rivers was born in Decatur, just a 90-minute drive from Winston's hometown of Bessemer, and the Bucs QB is looking forward to a little Southern reunion in San Diego.
You grow up and you hear about Phillip Rivers, and he went to NC State, so I'm going to get that a lot from Glizzy this week. But, man, just a great gunslinger. Been one of the greats in this game for a very long time. I definitely look up to him. I can't wait to talk to him before the game so I can hear a little bit of that country twang, because I know San Diego ain't took it from him yet. So I'm looking forward to that.
Almost exactly a decade ago, Plant High School earned its first football state championship. That 2006 team gathered at the old alma mater under the water tower a few weeks ago, reuniting, reconnecting, and reminiscing. 10 years from now, the 2016 Panthers may be doing the exact same thing. Tonight, 12-0 Plant hosts Robert E. Lee in the state semifinals. The Panthers are 1 win away from a trip to Orlando, 2 victories from a 5th football championship. This has been a heck of a ride for head coach Robert Weiner and his kids, but it was not entirely unexpected. Weiner says he saw this team's potential in week 1.
I saw it right from the beginning, and I told them that this is a special team and that it would be a shame if we let the opportunity slip through our fingers for this special team to manifest the potential that it had. At the end of the day, we never talk about results because we feel like the results will take care of itself. But if we're at our best and we do things in the right way, in the process and the way that we do it, we can take the result, whatever that result might be.
Plant is one of 4 Bay Area teams playing for a berth in the state championship tonight. Highlights tonight at 11.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Don't go anywhere. Nightly news is coming up next, followed by News Channel 8 at 7.
And, of course, we have news at 8 o'clock on Great 38, so we'll see you back here then and back here tonight at 11. Have a good night.
Wow, you're really festive?
Well, this time of year, there's plenty to be festive about.
Like what?
You smell like nutmeg.
Like the Hyundai Holiday Sales Event. It's your last chance of the year to save big on every new Hyundai.
Oh, I'm feeling more festive already.
Wait, did you say save big?
Yep.
Oh, I think I hear holiday music now.
Oh, no, that's just my ringtone.
Better's the reason to buy Hyundai. This is the reason to buy now. Get up to $2,500 off the new Sonata during Hyundai holidays.
Medicare Advantage HMO plans from Optimum Healthcare. Seize the day and optimize your tomorrows. With Optimum, there are 0 monthly plan premiums on most plans, 0 copays on Tier 1 preferred generics, 0 costs for primary care visits, and low hospital copays.
Get up to $51 in over-the-counter items each month.
And up to $104.90 back every month in your Social Security check per member. Call 1-866-325-0923 for a free seminar near you and get a $10 gift card with no obligation to enroll.
This holiday season, we want to make your dreams come true here at Fusillo Kia, especially if you've been dreaming of getting the right financing rate for the right vehicle. Not only do we have a huge selection of vehicles to choose from, but here at Fusillo Kia and through HugeKiaCredit.com, we've helped thousands establish or reestablish credit with over 30 different lenders that we work with, and Billy himself personally beating up those bankers for you. Chances are great we can find the terms. So